Hi, this week I'm talking to you about cupping coffee. And it sounds weird, it sounds like a goofy thing, right? But cupping coffee is what coffee roasters do to really get into what's going on with their beans, what's going on with their roasts, what they need to tweak, what they need to do to get the most flavor and highlight the best flavors from that coffee. Cupping coffee sounds weird, but all it is ground beans, hot water. That's it. So there's no brewing process that's going to affect it. Each cup has the same weight of coffee in it and also has the same measure of water as well. So we really get to compare them and see the differences, because sometimes when you try a coffee, you try just one and you kind of, you know what, you're having a hard time picking out the different flavors. But when you try them back to back to back like this, from different growing regions, different places of the world, different roasts, you really get to experience the different nuances and the different underlying flavors. I'm going to talk to you about a coffee company that I recently found on Twitter. It's called Kuma Coffee, and Mark at Kuma Coffee sent me a whole whack of different coffees to try out, and it's been really great to be able to experience these coffees. They're really good, and you know what, I haven't run into a bad one yet, and he sent me like 10 of them, so I had to pare it down a little bit. And this week I'm going to do some cupping. And you know what, I really wanted to check out and cup this one flavor. I told my wife, you know what, just leave me, leave me about a cup in each bag at least, if you want to brew some while I'm away or whatever. And she couldn't do it. The Papua New Guinea, one of our favorite regions to drink coffee from, and apparently she thought 7 beans was a cup. So I'm going to have to teach her how to measure. Anyway, so that just speaks to how great that coffee was. My wife loved it so much, she drank it all on me. Okay. So the first coffee I'm going to try out is the Elita Estate. It's from Panama. And I like how he puts down the process, the region it's grown in, Boquete. I can't even say this stuff. I'm probably murdering all these names, but it tells you the elevation, tells you lots about where that coffee came from. The packaging is awesome too, because it's, for one, it's paper, and another, it's also valved. So the coffee stays fresh, roast to order, but it also stays fresh so you can store it without worrying about it getting stale on you right away. Okay, so the first one I'm trying out here is from Panama. I like to get right down, take a big sniff, break through, and get some of that coffee right on there. Smell it, and then slurp it to cover as much of my palate and back into my nasal passages as I can. This has a melon flavor to it. It's nice and pleasant on the tongue. It's nice and smooth, but it also has a crisp flavor to it, like a crisp fruitiness. It's nice and smooth too, though, so it's really I like that. Just a little bit of a tingle on the tongue. It's not overbearingly crispy, but it is just, it's not a very long aftertaste. It's on your tongue and it's gone. You don't have that heavy feeling. Okay, the next one I'm going to try out is the Los Altos Nicaragua, and again, it tells you all about the coffee on the front, where it's grown, all that good stuff. And the same thing, when you're cupping coffees, you let the coffee steep in there for about 3.5 minutes or so. You break through that crust of grounds on the top. Now this one's got more of a spicy flavor to it, like a wood kind of an incense kind of thing going on, like pipe tobacco kind of. I like how it tingles on the back of my tongue, on the back sides of the tongue. It has a great sense that way. it goes in smooth and it has that little crispness on the back of your tongue on the way down, and then it just dissipates nicely. Now the thing about cupping is, you hear me say these little descriptors, and that's just, you know what, it's really subjective. And the thing about cupping is, it's so subjective that two people can cup the same coffee at the same time and get totally different descriptors. And you know what, neither one of them is wrong, because for that person, that is the sensation that they're getting, that is the flavors that they're picking out. And it's not that you think it tastes like wood or you think that it tastes like tobacco, but those are the flavors are giving you that type of a sensation, that type of a identifier. That's what you identify with that flavor. Well, because coffees at different time, the same coffee will taste differently a certain amount of days after a roast. It might start out, it'd be too bold, not bold, I hate that word. It would be too crisp on your tongue. It'd be way too, I don't want to say acidic either. I want to say very tingly, bright, just way too like an unripened orange. Just, you know, like lemon flavor, just like way too much, too strong. But after a few days, that tends to smooth out and other flavors start to develop, and it's really interesting if you cup these coffees from one day after the roast all the way up to 2 weeks, the differences that you will experience with them. Okay, the next coffee I'm going to try is the Mesela Ethiopia. It's from East Harar, and this is one of my favorite regions, and I haven't even had a cup of this brewed yet, so this is going to be a first. Right away from the scent, I can catch that signature Harar blueberryness. Oh, it's so good. Definitely a blueberry raspberry thing going on with this one. I love it because it's natural. That's how it's done. That's how it's made. There's no oils put into this. There's nothing added to it. There's no flavors added, but it has that natural flavor. It's natural processed, and the natural process lets that fruit sit on that bean and impact that flavor that much longer. And as that fruit sits on that bean, it pushes some flavor into it, and that's what you're getting when you taste this. That's where the berry flavor is coming from. It's coming directly from that fruit that was allowed to sit on that bean, which is actually the seed of the coffee cherry. Okay, and the last coffee I'm going to try out is from Guatemala, El Añejo. I can't even say that because I don't know Spanish at all, and I'm just ridiculous for even trying. But it is from the region of Hoya Hoya Tenango, and I really love this region. People tend to look down on South American coffees a lot, but certain areas have such awesome coffees. Panama has some excellent coffees. Guatemala, Nicaragua, there are some excellent coffees, and this region is definitely one of them. It smells like brown sugar and definitely some brown sugar, orange, some like date. Just a ridiculous smoothness to them. Not one that robs it of its flavor, but one that doesn't have a heavy aftertaste to it. It doesn't stick with you. It has nice. This one has a nice finish, and it just slowly dissipates at the end. Whereas this one, the Panama one, as soon as you swallowed it, the flavor was gone and your mouth felt clean. This one, it kind of slower, but all of them have been very smooth. All have different flavor characteristics. That is what I love about coffee. You get coffees from different regions. Don't get those blends, okay? You get something that's called a blend. It's just a mishmash of different coffee flavors. If you really want to experience the different flavors of the coffees, then I strongly urge you to buy some single origin coffees. That's the coffees with the country's name on it. Okay? These blends, a lot of them, there are some premium blends out there. A lot of them All they do is buy a bunch of cheap coffees and dark roast them and just mash them all together. These single origin coffees are good enough to stand on their own. They don't need to be balanced out with other flavors to try and cover up some of the bad parts of a different flavor from a different region. These coffees are excellent. I wholeheartedly recommend that you buy some coffees from Kuma Coffee because every coffee I've tried from them has been excellent. Their trade model is a direct trade model where they pay their farmers. They buy direct from the farmer where they can, and they pay the farmers 50% to 170% above the fair trade floor price. So fair trade is awesome. Fair trade has done a lot of great things, but it is very broad, and it's hard to say that it's the best thing for coffee. Coffee companies that can get those direct relationships and work directly with the farmer can do better than fair trade. And I support fair trade. Fair trade does a lot of great things, again, but that direct relationship, coffee farmer to coffee roaster, is the best for the industry. It's the best for the farmer, and it gives you the best coffees. All right, so right now you can win some of this Kuma coffee. It's awesome stuff. 10 people, 10 of you are going to win a free pound of Kuma coffee, and not only that, you're going to also get a free Toddy coffee brewer. This is the cold brewer I showed you before. I'll leave a link on how to use it down at the bottom. There's a video. It's really easy to use, and this makes the best iced coffee. Brewing cold coffee with the Toddy, it makes a coffee concentrate, and you can mix it with creams. You can mix it with water. It's just a really cool way to make coffee. It's a different way, but it makes awesome coffee. So just leave comments on the blog. Visit me on facebook.com/CoffeeNate1 for details on how you can win some of this stuff. Like me on Facebook, and you'll always know about the latest contests and ways that you can win and what's up for grabs. And you know what? I leave some stupid pictures on there all the time and goofy comments. And you know what? I just love interacting with you people on Facebook, on Twitter, on my blog. I just love to interact, and I love to hear when I help people find great coffee. You know what? To get them off of the Folgers, get them off of that Maxwell crap, get into drinking real coffee made by real people, and that benefits the farmers, it benefits the roasters, it benefits you, the consumer, and me, because I'm consuming lots of it. All right, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you guys for checking this out. I appreciate all the comments you leave, and you guys are the best. Thanks. See ya.